Hey, Timothy. You got the first. Nice. It's a lost art, you know? In a way. Used to be that you would see... I mean, it probably still is a thing, to be fair. And I've not looked at a comment section in forever that isn't ours. But, it used to be that you would always go on anything, and because the comment section was so prominent, you would see, like, 30 firsts. It, it never really became a thing that, anybody liked, in fact. I remember literally everybody hated it. It was a good time. Miss those days. I don't know if the other two are going to be joining me this evening, but we shall see. We shall see. How's it going? It's going okay. I feel like an idiot today. I figured out the issue with a leaky valve for my my hot water that went to my washing machine. It was literally just a simple fix of just tightening a nut. And oh, Aiden's here. Okay, hang on. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
Same old, same old.
Good.
How's
Good. Hmm?
how's chat?
Good question. How is chat? How are you doing, chat? How's everybody? Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Hello. And
Timothy's...
also Alejo, if I could
Yeah,
request the link to the chat.
I'm doing my best to get it to you quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Take
this
your time.
works. This might work. Flash. Does that work?
Let's find out. It does work.
Oh,
Hello, Timothy.
I can do that.
Hey, Dave.
Cool. Well, that takes care of that issue. But yeah, I was just saying that I feel like kind of an idiot because the hot water valve for my hot water for my not my dishwasher, my washing machine, has been something that's been a problem for a while, and I've had it closed off and just kind of using like cold water to do, you know,
Yeah.
wash and stuff. It was leaking and stuff, and I bought a new valve. I bought several new valves. Let me tell you, because I had not realized what type I needed, and then you know, today I went, let me think. That's like a big nut on the top. What if I just like tighten that? And I did. And you want to know what? It fucking worked.
Hey, let's go.
It's good, but you know, here's the good part about it, I guess. The upside is I'm up pipe wrenches and vice grip wrenches, which are good tools. So
Yes, they are.
that's
I recommend everyone has a good set of screwdrivers and a good set of wrenches.
yes, I would highly recommend vice grip wrenches because those things are versatile as hell. You can do so much shit with them. So go get some if you need wrenches. But yeah. So thankfully I fixed that, so now I can start using the hot water there. I figured out why my hot water wasn't so hot because like my electric water heater was set to like 90 instead of 120 for some reason. So, you know, I fixed that easily. That was just a turn of a knob. So, and tomorrow I'm hoping to open up my wall so that I can replace the electrical box and put in the outlet that I have been meaning to put in for a good couple of weeks now. So,
Well, I would push back on kicking yourself for not figuring out the gasket thing
Yeah.
earlier, because it would seem to me that you fixed a problem with the gasket without getting the part number for the gasket you needed. So, like, you didn't have access to that information.
Yeah,
So, so that means that you instead fixed it with your handyman
that
skills.
is true. That is true. I did do that. So I guess that is something. Uh, if a hole is full, does it still exist? If it doesn't exist, how can it be full? The big
Uh,
questions.
I I would say it depends on if what fills the hole is comprised of like the whole surroundings or not.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm fixing stuff. Yes. It depends on if the composition of the filler matches the composition of the hole's cavity. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, Dave. Exactly. Anyway, that's enough of that. I hope. How has your day been? Have you done anything notable?
Uh, not too much.
Hmm.
Went to a protest earlier, came
Hmm.
back, did a lot of cleaning.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Gotcha.
I have a sparkling, practically brand new kitchen.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Very good. I did a bit of a bathroom clean the other day, and that was nice.
Those are always very rewarding.
Yeah, it felt good to look at everything and then go, "Oh, that looks nice actually now." Whoa. Um, it was needing it. Anyway, well today we're gonna be talking about 4E because everybody hates it. Oh, so bad. Ooh, 4E. Ooh. Everybody doesn't like 4E, and there is no reason for this. Aside from bad feelings about being mismarketed, I guess. Which, sure,
I still don't fully understand. Well, I guess none of us can really understand the hate.
yeah. Um, so I got a couple of videos here specifically about 4E. The first one being, should you give 4th edition D&D a try? A primer. Brought to us by somebody called Manajack. Oop, that's the wrong thing. There it is. Woohoo! Uh, I think that I think this was like, I want to say, it's either this one or the other one was 2 months, and then the other one was like 2 years that these videos were made. Um, no, this is the 2-year-old one. The next one is a 2-month-old one. But I figured that we could begin with this primer to then get into one that's a little bit more specific on the topic, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So sort of a general overview and then a
yeah,
bit more in depth. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
yeah, exactly. People are still complaining about 4E. Why? Because it's a meme. That's it. I don't know. There's probably some, old heads who are going, back in when it came out, but, whatever. Hey, Full Metal Dragon, what's up? Yay for stuff indeed. So, we will begin with this video from Manajack. This is a very small channel, so we will see how it goes. Already good production value there.
Are you getting audio?
I am, yes.
Oh, I'm not. Hold on.
Oh, check your watch together. Um, see if that is the issue. I just stumbled on you guys here. When did you move to the weekend? I assume you guys dropped off the YouTube. Oh no, we moved to the weekend quite a while back. It was just, some moves and stuff needed to happen. But yeah, no, we've been going. We've been going, dude. Good to see you. Glad you found us again. Uh,
Hey there, and welcome to the
do you hear that?
I do indeed.
Okay.
Jack channel, where we delve into the exciting world of tabletop RPGs, MMOs, Warhammer, and more.
Ooh.
By the way, I was excited seeing Full Metal Dragon and forgot that I'm using push to talk now. Hello, Full Metal Dragon.
There
It's
you
been
go.
a minute.
It has.
Uh, Glad to see you again.
Yeah.
Today we have an interesting yet controversial topic that's been stirring up debates among Dungeons and Dragons enthusiasts. The age-old question of 4th edition versus 5th edition. Which one should you try? Was 4e actually as bad as people make it out to be? Well, sit down, grab yourself a cup of coffee as we explore the unique charm of 4th edition D&D. Why? You might want to give it a go.
I have a bunch of coffee that's made, but no, I'm drinking a rested peach is what I'm doing.
I'm drinking a seltzer and eating pineapple chunks.
I just had some pineapple, actually. It was good.
It's some good stuff.
Yeah, man, yeah.
So before we delve into Dungeons of Old, a little backstory first. 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons launched circa about 15 years ago, and is actually experiencing a bit of a renaissance of sorts among tabletop RPG fans. A lot of newcomers are coming into the hobby with the advent of shows, movies, and video games. And honestly, I wouldn't blame someone starting out, beginning their hobbying journey in 5th edition, as it's the most streamlined and easy to learn rule set out of every system out there.
Sure.
Most of you are probably already familiar with 5th edition, however, but if you spend any time on the internet, you've heard about the other editions of D&D, and there seems to be a common trend with D&D media to trash 4th edition anytime it comes up. So 4th edition came out around 2008, and around the time that the apex of MMO dominance. Wrath of the Lich King for World of Warcraft was just about to launch, sending WoW into new heights of popularity. I can imagine when Wizards of the Coast was designing 4th edition, they looked at the massive following of people who were flocking to MMOs and decided that they want a slice of the proverbial pie and help potential hobbyists get into D&D who were fans of, MMOs in general. They also took in a lot of feedback about, some of the issues with 3rd edition to update the game. Unfortunately, while the fundamental concepts mostly stayed the same, with the whole rolling a d20 and adding, your like a bonus, the mechanics of the game changed in such a drastic way that alienated the 3rd edition folks. A good chunk of the 3rd edition grognards, took one look at the power system of 4th edition and immediately cried foul. The martial characters only make attacks. They don't get special powers.
Yeah, so that being like one of the main fucking issues, the fact that you had quote unquote powers for martial classes is so stupid to me, because when you look at it, it is literally just, oh, this is all the stuff that you can do. It's just now like made to fit into the system like everything else does, spellcasting wise and such, right? Like it's there to make it so that everybody understands, oh, these are the powers that I can use once per day. These are the powers I can use once per encounter. These are the powers I can use all the time. And just because I'm calling them powers doesn't necessarily mean they're magic,
Yeah, like it's literally just my battle maneuvers.
Yeah. From experience, people start saying the old bad thing is great, actually, just to spite the new thing, while hoping people will forget all the videos they made about how bad the old thing was. Yes, that is something that some people do, who do not have integrity. It's very true. Perkins there dresses the dungeon master from the cartoon. Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty good. It was Will Wheaton, too. My goodness.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, in that screen.
Oh yeah, it was. I love how iconic that look has become.
Yeah.
Power system of 4th edition and immediately cried foul. The martial characters only make attacks.
It almost reminds me, do you remember Gimbal?
Gimbal.
He's a halfling rogue.
Oh, yeah.
He appears in a lot of older players' handbooks, but not in the newer ones.
Yeah, I remember him. He was everybody asks me whenever I talk about Gimbal that I made if I use that name from that old stuff, and I go, I never even knew that he was a thing. Like, yeah, I know the guy that you're talking about, like in 3rd, in the actual 3.5 player's handbook. I know the page, like I've seen the picture,
Yeah,
but I
he's like
never.
doing the Jagger.
Yeah, but I never read his name, which is so weird.
Attack. They don't get special powers. It was the same exact reasoning they gave for banning the Book of Nine Swords, or, if you're cultured, the Book of Weeaboo Fightin' Magic, from their own games. But, that's a video for another day. So 4th edition immediately got a reputation hit on its launch, and, many flocked over to the 3.5 revised edition, known as Pathfinder, which is made by Paizo. Indeed, today a lot of grumbling about 4th edition seems to come from either the grognards of old or the ones who have heard about 4th edition from them.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, there are some solid criticisms of 4th edition that I stand by.
Okay.
For example, the game is extremely balanced. There wasn't the dichotomy of magic users and martial classes, and no linear trajectory that essentially made martials great in the early levels and wizards god tier at the later. It's both a blessing and a curse, in truth, as, some people prefer that over the power system of 4th edition.
So is this a criticism of 4th, or is this a criticism of current?
I need to hear him.
Yeah,
make the
I'm
point.
confused.
And to be fair, there are some solid criticisms of 4th edition that I stand by.
Okay.
For example, the game is extremely balanced. There wasn't the dichotomy of magic users and martial classes, and no linear trajectory that essentially made martials great in the early levels and wizards god tier at the later.
So the criticism is that the
criticism is that the game was good.
Yeah, that it was balanced so that everything worked on an equal field, which is a very strange criticism because I understand the preference. I understand preferentially treating or wanting to play where you're like, oh, really shit as a wizard in the beginning, and then you control time and space later on. Whereas when you're a fighter, you are pretty good at the beginning, and then later on you're there.
So it sounds to me like Manajak is arguing in defense of this scale on the screen.
Yeah, so that's a very strange position to take.
The argument, I think, that some people at the table should be having fun and some people at the table having less fun until a point 3/4 of the way through the campaign, in which case those groups inverse, is a really weird argument to make.
Very strange, exactly.
Just because you're going, oh no, the realism, yeah, magic is powerful. Yeah, I understand magic is powerful, but we're playing a cooperative game where everyone gets to have fun in the spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm okay suspending my disbelief and hand waving away a little bit of unrealism.
Yeah.
So that the fighters can be magic boys and once per day set off a nuke.
Yeah.
Because it makes that player feel cool, and I want that player at the table to have a fun time.
Yeah, exactly. Full Metal Dragon says the criticism he agrees with is that 4E got rid of the quadratic wizard linear fighter problem. Yes, that exactly, which is a weird criticism to have, I guess, because just because it has been the case doesn't mean that it needs to continue to be, I don't know. And again, I understand the preference of having that be the case in your games. That's totally fine. And we've played D&D, we've experienced that little that whole thing, but I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, having everything be on that balanced playing field is just what you want, right? Because everybody will be able to, like Aiden was putting, have fun at the same kind of level in that case. And I guess it's also just only putting into account the fighting aspect of D&D, right? The actual combat aspect, which is an important aspect, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot more to it that I don't know. Yeah, like using magic as a utility, using your martial abilities as a utility is also something that I can see, that you would want to do. I don't know. It's just strange. It just doesn't seem like an argument that holds any water and is just I prefer.
Yeah, I mean, like, given that, like, Mana Jack isn't saying that that them balancing things is good or bad.
Right.
Mana Jack is just saying that it is balanced, so we do agree with them.
I guess so, yeah.
Um,
Uh, both 3E and 5E are full of at-wills and counter and daily effects. 3E even has abilities per round, as well as, like the Barbarian Rage. Yes, exactly. They just categorized it in such a way and called them powers, and people got butthurt about it. Like, that's the only thing that I can really point to. It's very strange.
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I agree.
And then the other aspect that we always hear is that it was the miniatures, you know, really marketed as the needing the miniatures, needing the grids and such, you know, all the battle maps and everything, which is like, I don't know, man. What do you? Sure, they want to make money selling miniatures. I don't know, man. It doesn't really bother me too much.
Business wants to make money.
Yeah.
Damn them.
Damn them. God, how old is that meme or picture? Jeez, yeah. When 6E comes out, people who hate 4E will start loving it. Just wait. Oh, I mean, this is the thing. You're seeing it now. You're seeing so many things coming at, like, literally the one from 2 months ago, the next video, is literally called, I've stopped bashing D&D 4E, you should too. 5.5 is dragging them back. Absolutely. People are starting to go back and say, oh, actually, 4E's always been... And it's like, we're sitting here going, hey, except for Boo, we haven't played 4E at all. And yet when we look at it, it's like, it's fine. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong here. Like, you can look at the system and go, this is fine.
I actively hope I will get to play it.
Same. And then, you know, you had all the videos before when 5E was super popular going, ooh, actually, we tried 4E and ooh, oh, it's not so good.
Guys, join me in consuming new product.
Exactly. So.
It'll be a community exercise. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That last bit was too much even for me.
It's both a blessing and a curse, in truth, as, you know, some people prefer that over the power system of 4th edition. Rather, in 4E, the classes were broken down into what some call the Holy Trinity of MMO culture.
It's not a bad thing. It's just how it is, man. In every game, you have your tank, your DPS, and your utility. That's a thing. It's just always been a thing, man. You know, like, I don't think that this is just something that, you know, some people have issue with that, and that it's broken down this way. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
And like, also just offense defense utility isn't just like an RPG thing. Like, it's also like a real world military thing.
Yeah.
Like light squads, heavy squads, support squads.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the class system was as much of an issue, I guess.
No,
I don't know.
They grouped them by their primary fuck me. What do you even call them?
Archetype.
Yes, thank you. Their primary archetype. And people got really upset because then it's like, oh, but I want to do it the way that I want to do it, which I assume that you still could, like, to a degree, not entirely, you know, deviating off the path entirely from your archetype, but I imagine multi-class, you know what, the easiest way to do this is for me to literally look up, could you multi-class in 4E? Multi-class feats. Yup. So
Yeah, I think multi-classing has always been a thing.
I think it was introduced think it was introduced in. I don't know if it was. It wasn't in the first one, obviously, but I think it was introduced either in 2 or 3. I don't remember. But yeah, so like, I don't know, man. You can do whatever you want, all right? Like, it's not a problem. Hey, Draco Kraken. Shooting at a raccoon. Oh, my goodness. I hope you missed. The 4-role system stands out a lot more as you get to PHP 2 and PHP 3, when it becomes clear that many new classes were just flavor reskins of old classes. Okay, I got you. 4E in today's day and age, I think not. Cancelled. Get him, South Park. That's right.
Multi-classing existed in 1E and 2A. In 1E and 2E, but
Really?
not in the way we think of now.
Oh.
It was more like playing 2 classes at once, and it was limited to non-humans. Humans could dual class, which is more like what we think of as multi-classing, except once you did it, you stopped leveling in your old class. 3E is what made multi-classing work like we know it now, though.
Okay, thank you. I didn't realize.
That is from Saloon off of Reddit.
Okay, well, sometimes Reddit is a good resource. Sometimes.
Until we find out that that was wrong.
Yup. Tell us in the comments.
Finding another source.
There you go. Rogue is your martial striker, but here's a divine striker and an arcane striker and a nature striker. I imagine it cut down on playtesting. Well, so here's the thing. I find that fine. Like, yeah, sure, they're a little bit similar in the sense of, or they're very similar in, I assume, their powers and, like, all that stuff, but they're called different things. Like, you are able to do your striker stuff and be a divine, you know, magic user or an arcane magic user or a primal magic user. I remember 4E has primal for the nature stuff. It was very cool. I liked that. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. But yeah, I don't know. It's fine to me. I don't find that to be that bad. I really don't. I think the multi-class feats were in the PHP 2 because of the Bard's special feature, letting them multi-class multiple times. Gotcha. 4E multi-classing was taken by Paizo and put into Pathfinder 2E. Yes, it was. It's good. The Reddit info was incomplete, but not wrong. Okay. Well, thank you. Give me more info, if you will.
Yes, please. I'm finding nothing.
The tanks, healers, and DPS with, you know, when 4th edition is considered, controllers are also added into the mix, and they're kind of waffle stomped somewhere between, you know, in the triangle between DPS and healers. So the combat could also be massively grindy. You know, whenever a D&D vet talks about or makes fun of 4th edition, that's really the biggest thing that they talk about. I mean, if you've seen Puff and Forrest's video on 4th edition, you know exactly, you know, what I'm referring to here.
I have, so we have seen, or I don't think we've covered that video, I don't think, but I have seen that there is a response video that was made that said that he got everything wrong in it. So
I actually think we did cover this video.
we might have covered his video on it. Yeah. But there is a response video that I do want to cover at some point, because it's literally somebody saying, "Oh, well, you're actually wrong." So I would like to see at least what the arguments are against what Puffin gave, and we might even have to rewatch the Puffin video if we do that. So I don't know, but it's I know that video is like an hour. So it's very interesting to me.
The DM has a lot of responsibility
so in terms of the grindy aspect, every single edition, everybody complains about the combat. So I don't know how much, like, validity I put to it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel people complain less about 5e being grindy because they can, like, players now feel like comfortable going to their DM and saying, "Hey, like, when are we leveling up? We should be leveling up soon."
Yep.
Which is good.
Yep. I'm sorry, I don't trust Puffin as a source, as he's been critical of systems with mechanical complexity. Yeah, remember when he covered Pathfinder 2e and then went into his complete diatribe about adding like 37 different modifiers for some reason? Yeah, I do. I don't know, man. I haven't watched a Puffin Forest video since like for a very, very long time because I don't know. It's just it seems like he complained about things that have like if you have anything more than like 3 modifiers, it's too much. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Massively grindy, shows picture of guy passing out playing poker. True. Uh, more information will have to come later. All right, no worries. People nitpick less about 5e because there are automated tools available for it. Yes, also true. The fact that the internet exists at this point with so much that you can utilize easily has made 5e so much less of a hassle for people because people didn't make stuff for 4e because people didn't like 4e. Hello, Locomotion. How you doing?
What up?
Or, combat dragging on like that. But there is a plethora of advice from 4th edition veterans on how to speed up combat. You can utilize the escalation dice mechanic, which is a homebrew rule to give you a bonus on attacks as combat runs on, or using damage spillover rules. This advice really helps in avoiding combat becoming a slog, and really in any edition, it's the DM's job to read the table and know when to end the fight. While on the subject, we can talk a little bit about combat. If you're a fan of tactical battles, and
please,
well, I guess we'll just keep going. It's fine.
Strategic decision making, 4th edition is right up your alley. The combat mechanics in 4th edition are incredibly detailed and structured, providing a grid-based combat system that offers a tactical depth that some people find truly satisfying. In my opinion, the definitive way to enjoy 4th edition is actually using a virtual tabletop like Foundry or Roll20. It can automate a lot of the bookkeeping that comes with playing any tabletop role-playing game.
So here's the thing, right? I mean, like anything that's like, oh, you can just automate everything because you can go and get something else to do it for you. It's like, well, yeah, I could do that for anything, sure. I don't know. It's just like it doesn't really seem like it would be a fix, because it's just, I mean, it is a fix, don't get me wrong, but it isn't something that I would go like, oh, it's not specific to 4th edition, I guess, which is good to have in your video to say, because literally every single edition you can do that with. So if you have any problem with anything at all in any edition that is like in terms of complexity and automation, then you can just go and do something in a different like program and make it so that it goes for you. Sure.
If you have unavoidable combat issues,
yeah,
it's a skill issue. Switch edition rules.
Exactly.
Switch to 4th, the objectively best one.
Yes. If a debunk video is over an hour long, then the original video mostly got stuff wrong. So most likely. I don't know. That's the thing. But from what I have seen, at least on the thing, he got a lot of stuff wrong. So and again, don't know. I don't know about that. It's been a long time since I've watched the Puffin Forest video. I would love to dive through 4th editions like PHB and DMG and all that, just to have my sources ready for that, just to see. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it at some point. You don't need a complex system to make complex or interesting combat. Yes, agreed. Absolutely. The terrain is like the easiest thing that you can do to make a combat more interesting. Just so easy.
Whenever I think of interesting combat, Tales from Elsewhere always comes to mind.
Yeah.
I'm super interested in that game's combat.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if you don't know, there's a Kickstarter that you can go and you can go and look at. Tales from Elsewhere. Go on Kickstarter and type in Tales from Elsewhere. Go and get notified for when it comes out in September 9th, I want to say. I did.
I believe so.
I did. So you should too. 4th edition is a disgrace of all the work put in 3rd and a half. No. Disagreed. You should check out the book Amethyst Compendium. It's a 4E book that brings modern day and near future weapons and classes to 4E. Plus, the Amethyst setting is really cool. It's on Drive-Thru RPG. Well, maybe I will, because that's cool. I actually would love to see the debunk video on Puffin, to be honest. Sounds interesting. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's in the dockets for some time at some point when we talk about 4E again. But this time we got these. Anyway.
It's also a little bit more engaging for the dungeon master as well, because in my opinion, 4E had a lot of options for encounter design. You weren't fighting 6 zombies and 4 skeletons. You have 4 zombie minions that might go down easy, but resurrect whenever they die. Mm-hmm. You have 2 zombie brutes that grapple foes and cause mayhem on the front lines. In the backfield, you have 2 flaming skeletons hurling fireballs at the party, and then 2 skeleton lurkers stalking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect time to strike and incapacitate a critical member of the party. It's not just a goblin stat block, for example, in the rules. It's goblins with different roles, like a meat shield goblin or a goblin that lays down blocks of darkness that block line of sight.
It's the whole thing. Like every time that we have covered a lot of combat videos, they go, "Oh, well, not every time, but a lot of the time, they go, oh, hey, remember 4th edition? How it had minions, how it had bloodied, how it had." All of the things with different roles and everything. You should just take that and use it because it's pretty good.
Was bloodied from 4E?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So and it's just, I mean, I understand if you don't want to play something that is very tactical. I get that. Believe me, I do. Some people don't want it to be so tactical. Unfortunately, D&D is tactical. It is. It just is. Ingrained into it. So, every TTRPG is tactical, unfortunately, for you, to a degree. Some of them have grids, some of them do not. But like something like Delta Green doesn't have a grid, but it gives you specific things about how far you can move and everything, and like you can only do one action at a time, so you have to really choose your actions wisely. Everything has some sort of tactical element, I promise you.
No, I'm going to push back on that, Alejo, actually, fully.
Okay.
D&D is not tactical at all. It's only tactical if you choose to interact with those portions of the game. D&D can be a purely roleplay based system. It's not a good roleplay based system, but it could be one.
I would push back on it not being a good roleplay system. Okay. I suppose that I would say that so then this is where we get to this Ship of Theseus kind of thing. If I were to take out the combat elements of D&D, would it still be D&D at that point for you?
Probably not.
Okay. Because for me as well. That's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to invalidate that one table I'm not going to say that one table. The tables that, like, don't do combat and just like to have, like, roleplay based campaigns purely. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that they're not experiencing D&D, but that is not what I would colloquially refer to as like what I know the experience that I call D&D.
I was going to say I'm not saying that they are not experiencing D&D, I suppose. It's just that the ingrained raw, D&D thing that we have is tactical, I guess, right? And most systems do have that kind of ingrained bit of tactical choice. Even in social encounters and stuff, utilizing your spells, utilizing your utility and everything, that is slightly tactical, but not in the same way, obviously.
Yeah, no, that is as tactical as looking down and seeing that there's a screw that needs to be tightened and going, oh wow, I need a screwdriver.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. It is that kind of thing where I would still argue that D&D itself is tactical. I don't want to say that that individual games are tactical themselves. I guess is how I would put it, right? But the actual system is tactical.
Yeah, I would agree that I will meet you at the system lends itself towards some degree of tactical or tacticalness.
Tacticality?
Tacticality.
Is that a word? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Bu- 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 Oh, lots of things are being said. Good. I like this. Arguing with a pre-recorded, aren't you? Yes, always. I hate being full of boomer energy, but I think even with digital tools, players are lazier, particularly casuals, on doing the work to manage, not learn these characters by themselves. I'm sure if you feel that way, that's fine. I don't know. It is there to streamline the experience, and I don't see that as a bad thing necessarily. Depending on what people want to do and how they want to engage with it, I guess it's their game to play, right? Just
Yeah, it just gives people another way of interacting with the system.
exactly. Even though I am still on my stance of D&D being tactical, it doesn't mean that I think that the people who don't engage with that are having a less fun or valid time, obviously, right? So them using the tools and stuff and not necessarily learning the game doesn't bother me in the slightest, because whatever, who cares. I've actually had the conversation with people that IMO new players shouldn't be taught on digital tools. Fair enough, I guess. I mean, again, I don't know. I don't really care too much either way, personally, but having done both, VTTs ease up some complications but induces new ones. That makes sense.
Yeah, I would say that's a fair take.
Yeah. Fourth was any kind of thing but not tactical. Come on. Delta Green, yeah, but not 4th edition of D&D. Fourth was experimental at most. I
I would agree with that.
So with 4th being experimental and not tactical.
Actually, no, never mind.
Yeah.
I would disagree with that.
I would disagree with that
Because,
heavily.
like, literally what direction your character is facing.
Yes.
Like, while looking into the setting sun matters in combat.
Yeah. Ori is the most tactical of all of D&D. Legitimately.
4E is the celebration of grittiness.
Yes. Yes. Normally I'd be for things like VTTs to be helpful for getting new players into the game, but lately I've become more against it just because it's becoming more of a crutch. It's fair. How does Pathfinder sit in the whole system evolution, if I'm right? System?
I should actually amend my earlier statement.
Okay.
Not grittiness, like crunchiness.
Yes. Pathfinder's good. It is also quite system evolution. It is it's very much 4E. So I don't know, it is its own thing, but it does have elements from a lot of different places. Excuse me. So I don't know. It's an iteration, I guess, not an evolution necessarily. Recent development of people who have used D&D Beyond for all their playing is that many of them can't make a character using just the book and paper. I guess I can see that because everything is kind of put forth for them. Though I would say that it's easy enough once you figure it out. I don't know. If I were to put something in front of them and go, this is the book, and if you read this whole first section, it will tell you everything how to make a character. You don't need to go through the entire thing. All you got to do is go for the stuff that is for your class. You're fine, and your race, I guess, technically. But it's pretty easy to teach, so I don't know.
I will never argue in favor of having less learning tools available for people to learn a hobby.
Yes. Say D&D is set up to be as much roleplay as each group wants, regardless of the version. It's a sandbox, not purely for one playstyle. Yes, agreed. 100%. What's beyond, if you would so kindly explain? I'm not really familiar. Just so you know, English is not my native language, and I'm drunk. Fair. What do you mean by Beyond? Are you talking about D&D Beyond? Oh, D&D Beyond is the website. It's the website that is for D&D and getting like your PDFs and using their official stuff that way. It's a monthly subscription and such. It's not great. Tools are there to be purely tactical if the player wants it to be. Yes, purely tactical, sure. Yeah. I'm just saying that the game has is tactical in its design. Whether or not you engage with it, that's your personal experience, but it is tactical in its raw form. Anyway, okay.
And shift your goblins that have the ability to, go invisible to flank the players and ambush them at the perfect time. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't homebrew those rules for 5th edition, but I'm just speaking in general terms of comparison between the two rule sets. Definitely recommend checking out the Matt Coville video on encounter design in 5th edition if you'd like to see some ways that you could spice up your 5e game.
Literally the video that he says, hey, go and take the stuff from 4th edition and utilize it in 5th edition. Literally.
Using some mechanics out of 4th edition.
Yep.
So don't get me wrong, 5th edition, definitely has its merits too. It's streamlined and accessible, which makes it a great choice for beginners. But if you're someone who craves intricate combat encounters, complete with unique powers, stances, and cool synergies between characters, 4th edition is truly where it shines. It gives everybody the ability to influence.
I never realized the Hellhounds were in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've only ever seen the zoomed in photo on the back of the player's handbook of like the giant with his face.
Yeah. No, yeah. They've always been there. It's very cool.
Oh, shit. What is this artwork from?
That's the 5th edition player's handbook art, but I think this is the wallpaper that you can get or something.
They must have just like put it up separately, I guess.
Yes, I believe so.
Interesting.
Who's the guy?
Like, yeah. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy who's making the video? This is Manajack. Very small channel, unfortunately, but I think this is fine so far. There's nothing bad here.
Yeah. No complaints. It's just been a pretty detailed overview and honestly kind of appreciated.
Yeah.
Control and do cool things in combat, rather than just a wizard casting one spell that can immediately level the encounter, or the fighter having only one or two options in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about simplicity versus complexity. 5th edition D&D is celebrated for its ease of play. It's straightforward, and the rules are designed to keep the focus on storytelling and role-playing. It's perfect for people who just prefer a more narrative-driven experience. However, in terms of actual character design, once you've seen a level 1 fighter, you've actually seen most level 1 fighters. 4th edition, on the other hand, although a little bit more complex, offers an extremely deep customization package and character building aspect. You have class powers, backgrounds, feats, themes, paragon paths, and epic destinies, allowing you to create something truly unique with a wealth of options and possibilities at every step of the way.
They expanded off of what they did in 3 and then 3.5, right? They really went hard into it. And they did basically, if you know Pathfinder 2e at this point, you know 4th edition. Like, that's what they did. They just took what they did in that edition and went, oh yeah, let's go. Because Pathfinder hilariously enough, went, hey, we're going to offshoot off 3. And then when they went, oh, we'll make a new edition, they offshooted off 4. Like, in a way. It's very interesting. But people like Pathfinder 2e. So you'll like 4th edition. And people like 5th edition. So you'll like 4th edition. Because a lot of stuff carried over. A lot of stuff. They just didn't call it the same thing. That's all.
You want the ability to rain some magic fire down on your foes as a fighter at level 1, it's all yours. If you want an owlbear to fight alongside you as a wizard, yeah. None of the classes, catch your fancy. You can even hybrid them and then gain some of the benefits of both classes.
There you go.
And lastly, let's not forget about the availability of resources. Although 4th edition is no longer the current edition, there is an extremely, extremely vast library of sourcebooks, adventures, and supplements available online. And this means you'll have an extensive catalog to choose from, providing a wealth of content to explore. As a dungeon master, if you crack open the original monster manual, you may actually find some creatures with extensive stat blocks that look like a chore to read. And as a personal tip, I'd highly, highly recommend using the monsters found in the Monster Vault, the Threats to the Nentier Vale, and Monster Manual 3, as those monster cards can actually fit on a business card and have the math fixed on their actual profiles to have their defenses reduced and their damage amplified, which speeds up combat considerably.
Sure.
You can utilize the 4th edition D&D Discord, which is found in the video description below, to find the install instructions on the extremely handy character builder as well, and that simplifies creating a character with all the resources and options at your disposal and walks you through every step of the way.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't know they had a dedicated Discord. That's pretty neat. I hope those people are doing well.
Yeah, so on one hand, no, actually, never mind. I was going to say on one hand, I really support these people doing this project and helping people make character sheets, but I don't know how much I support a system that the player base has to help fix the problem. It comes, it's always the Bethesda problem for me of crowdsourcing your game design.
I guess what I would just say to that is that 5th edition is the same way.
Yeah, but and also from what I understand, this wasn't WotC pre-planning oh man, there's going to be a 4E Discord group
yes
that's established 6 years after the game releases. Yeah, it's not even a valid point to make anyway.
Right, yeah. I get you. Use bookstores under this administration. Good luck finding one, true. Yeah, so... Even with this, can't you sell 4th because you're selling 5th? Or is it 6th? It's 5.5 now. Sorry, it's 2024 now, technically, right?
2025.
Oh, well,
no, it is 2024.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, they just called it D&D, I think, like they usually do, but it's 2024. And yeah, it's there. Yeah. You can't get the stuff officially anymore, obviously, but you can still find all the information easily, and you don't need to necessarily buy the books. You can just go and get it all online using something like Wikidot or whatever site are out there for 4th, obviously.
And so, whether you're a seasoned player craving tactical combat, or perhaps a collector seeking a treasure trove of content, 4th edition Dungeons & Dragons might honestly be the perfect fit for you. And don't get caught up in the edition wars either.
True.
Just embrace the diversity of the hobby and choose the game that, aligns with your playstyle.
Yes!
As always, you can let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, as it'll help build my channel. Until next time, happy adventuring.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Other editions are not the enemy.
No, they are not. They are a wealth of resources. Again, this is Manijack. Only 16 subs. I don't know about any of the rest of the content that this person puts out, but definitely go and check out this this channel. See if there's anything else.
They have one video.
Is it just this video?
It is just this video.
2 years ago. Oh. Oh, that's sad. Oh, I'm very sad
Well,
now.
They at the very least earn a like.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Okay, well, damn. Somebody bring back Manajack, alright? This is fine. This is a fine video. Fucking hell. That makes me sad. It's weird that players need to fix the problems, but the bright side is the players usually fix it better. True. True. Does anyone know what the biggest 4E Discord is? No idea, no. Anyway. Well, so, good little primer there. Has a little information. Doesn't really go into too much detail. But...
the 4E Discord is linked in Manajack's video.
Yes. So, if you want to go and, talk to some 4E people, I assume it's still, you know, active. I don't know. I'm not a part of it. It's sad. I want this person to make more videos, because that actually seemed like a pretty good one to start with. Anyway, let's move on. So, this one is only 2 months old, this video. Pretty recent. Let's see, because
D&D
fucking people, like I said, don't like current edition. So now we're going back and saying, "Oh, actually, did you know they actually came out with a 4th edition? Whoa!" I don't know. I don't know what the tone is of this video, but like it's unfortunate that I see this all very cynically, because it's just like, oh, I don't like current thing. Old thing good though. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. Anyway.
The previous product is the enemy.
Yes.
And not another valid way to enjoy the hobby.
Exactly. They came out with a 4th edition, I figured they skipped the number. True. So this is Norse Foundry. Pretty big, looks like. And this is... I've stopped bashing D&D 4E. You should, too. I never did, brother. I mean, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'll be honest. There was a time where I did, because I fell into the meme. I did. Everybody fell into the meme at some point, because you're taught by your first DM, oh, 4th edition bad. Don't like 4th edition. Nobody liked 4th edition.
Yeah, not all, but players starting when we did.
Yeah, true.
Or a lot of them.
Yeah.
The 4th edition is hated by 90% of D&D players, but I think it gets a way worse rap than it deserves, and I'm going to explain why. My name is Jay. I'm a pro game master who has run games for some pretty recognizable faces, and here at Norse Foundry, we've been exploring past editions of D&D by taking stances which have received mostly good, but some interesting responses. Yeesh. But before we can jump into the whys, we have to look at the whats. We'll dive into what 4E did well, recognize its flaws.
Okay, no. Do not do that. That is right in my ears, and it hurts, man. Why did you make it so fucking bad?
No one understands audio mixing.
What the fuck, man?
It's universally difficult for everyone, it seems.
I guess so, but like when you're listening back to it and it's just like super loud in your goddamn ears and it's a piercing fucking tone. Anyway, there's a YouTuber named Old Graybeard that is dedicated to 4E and only 4E videos. Yo, cool. Okay. Never fell into the meme. 4th was my first edition. There you go. Yeah, that's the other thing, of course, is if you started with it, you know, you went, oh, this is cool. I almost, actually, I don't know if I've told this story, but I almost started with 4th edition. Almost. In high school, I had a couple of friends, only a couple, and I was over at one of my friends' houses, and he was like, hey guys, do you want to like play D&D? And my other friend was like, ah, dude, that's like nerd shit.
Bro.
Yeah, I know. And like, I was a people pleaser, still am, but to a lesser degree. So I went, but let's try it. It's fine. Yeah, let's do it. You know, I didn't have a strong opinion then because I was very scared. Um, and so my friend was like, "Yeah, I'll run a thing for you guys. Let's do it. I've played it a couple of times. My dad likes it, so you know he's got the starter box, and we'll try it." And
Yeah.
and I was
You
like,
guys even had the materials and everything.
yeah, exactly. And so he started this little thing, and my other friend was not into it. I was getting kind of into it, but like we were trying to figure out some things here and there, and it never went anywhere. So I almost started fourth, and I wish I had at this point because then it would be like then I would have some experience with it. One and two, I would have fucking loved it back then. Jesus Christ.
Just imagine how different your life would be.
I know.
If you had played 4E that day.
I know it actually probably would have changed a lot.
Everything would have changed.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
It would actually be my podcast.
That's right. Yes, exactly. And you would be covering my channel sometimes.
Yes.
Anyway, I find it annoying that people just need to keep moving the goalposts just because they want to bash the new thing. Yup. There was a time I cut my Eldar Harlequin troop chief's hand off with my unsteady hand, and that was fucked up indeed. Yeah, fair. Absolutely. Audio mixing is what led me away from getting into video game design. Fair. Cool, the audio thing wasn't only me. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, it was in my right ear as well. You had friends in high school? Shit, look at Mr. Popular over here. Yeah, only a couple. It's alright. What a show off. Sorry. Does Mr. Popular have an awesome Sons of Malice army at any period? What a loser. No, I wish. D&D is geek shit, not nerd shit. Get it right, old friend from the past. That's right. It's true.
And then I'll explain why I think it gets way
Oh,
more hate
fuck
than
off.
it deserves. So, what did it do well? The 4th edition of Dungeons
Dude,
and Dragons
it's just
was
going to be an all video.
I hope not. Please, no.
announced by Wizards of the Coast at Gen Con in 2007 after 2 years in development to be released the following summer. The big message they were sending was that they were taking D&D back to its roots, and everyone cheered. But what did that mean exactly? Taking a lot of influence from games like World of Warcraft, thinking they had to get ahead of where they thought the player base was trending towards, they meant returning the focus of the game to tactical combat. For combat lovers, this game was awesome, producing stunning cinematic, highly tactical gameplay. A huge focus shifted directly.
Okay, so when people say cinematic, they just mean it was like cool to describe, because everything
my
is.
DM narrated it really well.
Yeah, exactly. Cinematic literally means nothing in these contexts. So can we just drop that from these kinds of things, please? You can use it to describe how how your session went. It was very cinematic. You described it so well, you know, like
I need to hear the context of how it was used.
Yeah.
They meant returning the focus of the game to tactical combat. For combat lovers, this game was awesome, producing stunning cinematic, highly tactical gameplay.
I like how he edits out of cinematic as if he doesn't want to fully commit to it.
I know. Cinematic and cinema are words I've begun to loathe. That is fair. Yes.
Huge focus shifted directly to the use of physical maps and miniatures in order to plot out your combat turns and make use of terrain. But this also carried over to the other side of the DM screen by mostly fixing the challenge rating system for monsters, streamlining stat blocks, and introducing monster rolls. Monster rolls were categories that were given to monsters to know how and when to use them, what purposes they served, like artillery, brutes, and soldiers, or how they were.
I remember Boo weighing in on the challenge rating system. He also agreed that it was pretty well balanced, didn't he?
I don't remember, honestly, so I couldn't comment, unfortunately.
Because I think that's why he was talking about the very basic mooks.
Minions.
D&D. Yeah, minions. Because he said that minions allowed for a lot of fine tuning. Just how difficult your encounter was.
That is true. That does make sense. I feel like that is something that he would bring up for sure about it. Because like it honestly, looking at what you've got, you can really easily like, and it's not like it's hard to do necessarily in fifth or later, or before necessarily, but fourth made it especially easy for you to just look at something and know what to do with it, right? Because of the rolls, which is great. And then yeah, the fine tuning aspect of putting guys who did damage but died instantly. Yeah, great. It's not gonna be that much harder. It's just, I mean, it will be a little harder if they get hit, but if they even do like a fireball, hell, you got a whole field that you cleared, and you made them use their fireball, you know, in that encounter. So, whoa. All right, I'm completely wasted and probably gonna piss myself, but always a treat, lads. Fucking right off. See you, Locomotion. Thank you.
I see a locomotion. Thank you for dropping in.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Yes. I had previously only thought of minions in terms of like what their contribution to overall CR was.
Mm.
In relation to like just the sheer math of the situation of
Right.
like they do like so and so D20 or whatever.
Right.
Because like they're big boys, they're minions, but they're dealing D20s.
Yes.
But like, yeah, there is also too. You need to think of it from the perspective of I as the DM am flooding the combat field with these little hitboxes, which will incentivize players to spend their AoE resources.
Yes.
Thus leaving future dungeons a lot more dangerous.
Yes. Exactly.
So like it not only has the benefit of refining the CR system, but also the added side effect of you as a DM now have a use for their resources. Plus, also as an added bonus, the players feel really cool for like launching a fireball and killing 8 minions.
Yes. Exactly. I don't think it's possible to design for cinematic gameplay because what is cinematic is so different from each person. Well, so the colloquial term for cinematic for everybody who uses it in this context usually is just that it creates a very memorable scene, that was described in a way that they saw in their head. That's what it means.
Yeah, your character is Legolas standing at the top of the stairs with swords in either hand, cutting down Uruk-hai to either side of him.
Yes, exactly.
That's what they mean when they say it's cinematic.
Exactly. Which, again, literally does not give you anything because it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, so they described it real well and you saw it was happening. That could happen for anything. Cool. Let's move on because that's not whatever.
Yeah. It is an argument that it's very easy to like see how it can like form in a person's mind.
Yeah.
But also, it falls apart once you realize that how well your DM narrates the scene is what sets that. So
Yes.
yeah.
And like having the grid and everything can help with that, but you can have the grid and the minis and everything for everything else. At this point. So I guess if you want it to be like, oh, it wasn't so much a focus before for the minis and all that, and it really adds to it because of that, it's like, well, some people didn't find that the case, so I don't know. I heard somebody say once that using the term cinema is because movies were seen as the only entertainment worth caring about, so calling it cinema was to get the mainstream to respect it. Yes. Thought it was weird to be that insecure about your hobby. Yes. Yeah, it's the whole thing of like, instead of saying it's a movie, you say it's a film. It's like, oh, okay, fuck off.
What happens when instead of a film you say it's kino?
Oh, Jesus.
They were meant to be used like solo monsters, leaders, or one-hit minions to swarm your players with. But what if we also added boss phases like RPG video games? Well, here's the bloodied condition. An enemy was considered bloodied when it typically fell below half of its hit points. This condition would allow special abilities to be used against the players, or abilities for the player to use against a bloodied enemy. Narratively, this makes so much sense as a DM to announce that the enemy is bloodied rather than trying to hint at how hurt they are when the players ask.
Sure.
This added to that epic battle feel and warms the Final Fantasy fan inside me, tugging on those video game RPG mechanics when you know that they're nearing the end.
Nice.
But how does this influence of MMORPGs affect the player characters? The answer to that is in balance. Balanced class roles that have mostly predetermined roles within the party. So much so that there are around 25 classes in total, but each of them had their own role, just like the
I like how both of you said it's not a comic, it's a graphic novel. Yes, exactly. Yep. I remember that being in so many things just to try to distance themselves. It was so annoying. Gag onto me with a spoon. Pretentious fucks. Exactly. It's so pretentious. I don't understand. It's a fucking comic book. You like it, okay? Shut up. It's fine.
the monster roles that I mentioned earlier. Each class had distinct roles in battle, which made assembling parties far more tactical. But every party still needs a cleric, right? Who's that gonna be? Well, maybe no one! Look, 4E clerics are dope, but they're not required for healing, and that's where healing surges come in. Healing surges allow any character to spend hit dice to recover hit points during combat. This is an optional rule, but it's easily implemented by the DM if no player really wants to pick the designated healer role, which is great to have a rule built into that to help with that situation. But if you weren't going to be a cleric, maybe you could be one of the most revered aspects of 4th edition, the Warlord. The Warlord took the leader role, able to offer battlefield control.
So this is my first knowledge of, this is my first time hearing about them adding the thing where you can spend your hit dice to recover hit points.
Oh, really?
In 4E.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's super cool that they baked into the system what if no one wants to play a cleric.
Yeah, it's great.
Why are people criticizing a system for giving their players more tools to make the system, like, approachable to more players?
Because it's bad, though.
Why is the hobby bringing in more people bad?
But
oh, right, because I need to gatekeep.
yeah,
right,
you got it. Yeah. Keep him out. Keep him out. Get him. Yeah, remember, different bad. Yes, exactly. Different bad.
You know, I remember being back in college and specifically repeatedly making the argument of, like, whenever people were arguing against 4E of, like, yeah, but video games are fun, though. Do you want to have fun?
Yeah, exactly.
By repositioning party members and giving tactical advantages. They had a martial focus, but could be built into a bunch of different playstyles like tanking, ranged, support, and hybrids of them. But combat isn't all 4th edition is known for.
True.
4th edition also delivered challenges outside of combat that were perfect for team-based high-stakes moments, such as a chase scene, a tense social interaction, or navigating dangerous terrain. Skill challenges were such a great addition and so simple to implement. Tables were available for how many successes were needed for a particular skill check before they reached.
It was what created skill challenges. It was great. It's just something that carried over, and nobody gives 4E any credit for it because they're just like, oh, I saw Matthew Mercer do it once. Oh, whoa! Critical Role did it once. It must be in 5E. Let's just do it. I don't know. That maybe that's not entirely fair, but
No, I do feel it's fair to say that the role of 4E is to forever be placed in the corner of, like, how to put it, just placed in the corner, unappreciated for what it's contributing. Like 4E is walking so that 5E could.
You're right. It that's the thing. Like we've said before, if you like 5E, you like 4E. You just do.
I'll say 4E walked so 5.5 could run.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Hello, Verity. Hello, Shin. Um, because 4E feels like a video game or MMO. That's right. Yeah, that's why they hated it because. Time skill challenges in particular. Yes. Yeah. Graphic novel was for manga ordinarily, right? Before they started using the term for US comics. I don't know that. I'm sorry. I don't know. To me, 4E played more like a tabletop Soul Calibur, not an MMO. That's pretty fucking cool as like a comparison. I like that. It's a fighting game. As D&D people, because no other TTRPG matters, right? Exactly. We have to praise Matthew Mercer once a day for bringing these new mechanics and making D&D cool. Yes, exactly. It's the only way. We have to.
Yeah, let's not provide any recognition to 4E. It's Matt Mercer.
That's right. That's right. Blessings upon his hair. Yes, exactly. Hello, Entropy.
3 failures. And there's also a table for the...
I bet you Garibay would agree with that point, unironically.
Yes, I agree, actually. Well, so this actually, I don't know about that because praise Mercer indeed. Because he's very much a 4th edition fan. That's the thing. I don't know. Maybe, well, so he would still do it because Matt was doing it taking from 4th edition. So I don't know if, I don't know. We've yet to watch the Garibay video about 4th edition when he was still on Nerdarchy. That is something in the docket. So
I bet you I know how Garibay would rationalize it.
Oh, yeah?
He would say that even though the skill check system was good, because it was in 4E, it wasn't like, it hadn't hit its like full potential. But it wasn't until Matt Mercer, the Giga Chad, big brain, like savant of D&D, decided to take this and then roll it forward with no changes in 5e. That was when everything changed.
Yeah, that was it. That was the day that everything was great.
That was the inversion point.
Yes, exactly. Pretty sure modern Garibay would hate the takes past Garibay would have. He supported Pathfinder back then. Really? Oh, yeah, no, he hates Pathfinder now. True. Okay. All right. Ooh.
The player level and the corresponding difficulty. So by looking up 2 tables, the DM can arrange a multitude of quick challenges to resolve any situation the party finds themselves in. Genius! But that being said, I suppose there were some missteps taken by wizards in the design of 4th edition, so...
Okay, here we go. This is going to be the part that we actually have. Is Mercer the new enlightened one trying to take Garabay's place? No. Mercer is a prophet. Garibay is... Well, okay. Garibay is a prophet... Ooh. Because we're the Cardinals... Or, no. What was above? I don't... No.
No, we were Cardinals.
I think we were the Arch Cardinals or whatever, I think.
There's no Arch Cardinal. There's... Or maybe there is, actually.
It's been a minute, but when we were with Juice, it was decided that we were whatever was above Cardinals, I think. And then Draco Kraken became a Cardinal, I think.
No, there's Archbishops and Cardinals, but there's not Arch Cardinals.
Okay. So we're Cardinals, then Draco Kraken was an Archbishop, Garibay was... I'm sorry, Juice was the Pope, and then Garibay was the Lord. So... Matt Mercer is he Jesus?
Yeah, because wouldn't Jesus be...
Oh, no, he would be... True, he would be Garibay. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Gygax is God,
Mercer,
and then Garibay is...
would be Paul.
Okay, yes.
Which would make him the first pope.
Okay. Right, we're... Okay. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
I thought Mercer was sanguineous.
That's right. Yes, he was sanguineous. That's right. um, did you put the Esper the Bard video on how alignment is good actually into the docket, Alejo? If it's in my watch later playlist for the channel, then yes. If not, then no, I haven't. But that sounds like something that I should put in the docket. I hope he doesn't repeat the same stuff people usually complain about in 4E in the 4E meme. Yeah, I don't know. Dibs on apostate. There you go, Dave. Be a heretic. There you go. Absolutely. Mercer was sanguineous indeed. Can I be the devil? No. We don't have an inverse yet. We need an inverse, like a dedicated inverse. A destiny thrust upon me. Oh, what rueful castings of fate, indeed. Anyway.
Let's look at the flaws. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of issues with how this was rolled out, but my main gripe is with the lore. D&D lore has remained basically unchanged.
Okay, I don't care about the lore. The lore has no, like, okay. No. Sure, it is, if there's inconsistencies and stuff, absolutely. I understand, you can have a problem with it. That is totally fine. I'm thinking about D&D as the system. I have no thoughts on the lore of Faerun. I'm sorry.
Yeah, agreed.
Changed since its inception. Sure, there have been other worlds than Greyhawk with their own histories, deities, and such, but when Wizards dropped 4th edition, they made some pretty heavy changes. Certain sections of the Faerun map were just destroyed. Deities were either wiped out or narratively completely changed. It was a lot to take in. And the time jump
okay, so there's a lot. Oh no, I'm sorry.
that occurred from 3rd to 4th edition also made porting campaigns almost impossible. They also left out any kind of material allowing an easy way to make current campaigns backwards compatible. No pamphlet, excerpt, or anything.
So that is something that I would say that is kind of an issue, because in every edition that I've seen, at least from before and after, they give those this is how you convert your character. Because that was just they knew that people would want to do that. It's weird that they wouldn't for 4th, I guess. That is something that you should probably have done. But that isn't necessarily the system's fault, I guess. That's more a WotC problem. So, video the lore, Alejo. Your argument is invalid. It is for the system, yes, not for the lore, I suppose, like keeping continuity. But anyway, most people don't play according to the lore. They usually make their own homebrew worlds. Lore is good. Hell, I love lore. It's not the hill to die on when it comes to a TTRPG system, though. Agreed. Absolutely. There doesn't need to be an inverse. Just needs to be someone who slightly changes Garabay's teachings to lead you away from him. True. You're right. You are correct.
Just deal with it. This was especially true when it came to the player characters and how they would convert. Short answer, they didn't. The massive shift to emulating things like World of Warcraft left the feat-based character builds of 3rd edition in the...
Yeah, August, exactly. If we're talking about the lore of a TV show, movie, or book, that's a different story because it's heavily reliant on it. Yes, canon matters in that, absolutely. And it would matter in the adventures that they put into the actual settings for Faerun. But I assume, please absolutely correct me if I'm wrong, but they took that into account when they made the current adventure types. Because they went, oh, well, we've killed gods and made it so that this is years in the future. Things are different, right? And I don't... If they didn't give you rules to, like, port up certain campaigns... That's weird, but I also understand that if they are going by the lore aspect, I guess, of like, oh, those don't exist now because this is in the future, right? And I assume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this as well, 5th edition, they kind of went back on a bunch of shit, and so that's why they have everything that is ported up, because they went, oh, people didn't like 4th at all, even, especially the lore changes, so we're gonna just reset. It's fine.
Yeah, to my knowledge, that's correct.
Okay, well, there you go.
Also, I now have to duck out.
All right, yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Yeah, of course. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Have a good week, everybody, and have a good rest of the stream, Alejo.
All right. See you later, my dude.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, it's just you and me, everybody. Here we go. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Am I the only one who doesn't think of WoW when I see D&D? No, you are not. I don't know. It's because they had the types and stuff, right? Like they had the classes that fell into categories. That's what people are saying, right? Now Aiden's gone. I'll be your new host. Thanks, August. Aiden's gone. Time to break out the booze. Well, hey, whoa, hey, wait a minute, hey. Are you saying something about me? I'm sorry. Do you need? Oh, well, goodness. I could host too. Everybody wants to host. My goodness, everybody wants to. Maybe someday we'll have a call-in feature. All right, maybe someday, but not right now. Anyway.
Dust.
I do want to actually do that. That was something that I did actually talk about a little bit before. I do want to have something. Nap time. Fuck off.
It was such a hard turn that you either had to rebuild characters from scratch or just don't play 4E. Wizards of the Coast didn't want to repeat the mistakes of TSR by spreading themselves too thin. This led them to watching the market of gaming moving towards these MMOs and decided that D&D needed to evolve or die. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Or if it was going to be, it wasn't yet and didn't need to change in the way that Wizards took it.
So, I disagree. I guess it's not that I think that the game needed to change to such a radical degree. What I disagree with is the fact that they did it, and that is a problem, I guess. Because having it change to become what it did become isn't a bad thing, right? It's not inherently bad because of it. It's not inherently better because of it either. It's just a different edition that has different rules and a different like everything, right? So it doesn't like it. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to say that this is that the radical change was like the entire reason, I guess, that how did he put it? Hang on. I need to hear it again.
By spreading themselves too thin. This had to rebuild characters from scratch. The massive shift to emulating things like World of Warcraft left the feat-based character builds of 3rd edition in the dust. It was such a hard turn that you either had to rebuild characters from scratch or just don't play 4E. Wizards of the Coast didn't want to repeat the mistakes of TSR by spreading themselves too thin. This led them to watching the market of gaming moving towards these MMOs and decided that D&D needed to evolve or die. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Or if it was going to be, it wasn't yet and didn't need to change in the way that Wizards took it.
So, yeah, this is the thing. I don't think that it's a bad idea to change it radically. Like, yeah, sure, you'll alienate people, and yeah, I get that some people were like, oh, go fuck yourself entirely, right? But, I don't know. If they had stuck with it, it probably would have been fine, I think. I think it's just more the people that played 3rd and then played 5th, they just didn't want it to be different. They're bad with change, right? Most people are, don't get me wrong, that's just kind of an aspect of human nature, but like the changes themselves don't at least seem to me to be anything that would like break the game, I guess, or make it into something entirely different. It just doesn't make sense to me, I guess, overall, that this would be the deciding factor to make everybody hate 4th edition, right? It just really doesn't track. Because I look at it and I go, this is the same thing, it just has a different coat of paint in a lot of places. And yeah, oh no, your wizard doesn't outscale everybody. Oh no. Like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand why it would be something that people hated. Is it literally just the way they marketed it? Because I know that was something that everybody says, that that's the real reason why people just hated it. But I don't know. If everyone is the host, no one is. True. We need more hosts. At least 5 more hosts. Brings in more eyes. True. That's true. Wizards Coast wasn't making an MMORPG. They were mandated... their mandate was make 4E with the accessibility of MMOs, which... That's fine. Nothing wrong with that, right? Like, it's accessible. 4E is very accessible. Accessible, excuse me. Having backup hosts is a good idea. Yeah, well, you know. That would require having more people who want to, like, hop in, I guess. Who want to, you know, do that kind of stuff. Which is fine. I don't mind having that be a thing. I want to get more people who have, like, done stuff to come in and everything. So, I don't know. It's just, you know, it's a whole thing. The problem is, right, I'm incredibly bad at making new relationships, I guess, with people who are content creators on YouTube, because our show is anathema to a lot of them. So I don't know. I always feel weird about it. It was too radically different for them to take a chance on and stick in the... Right, I already read that. They got cold feet last minute, which... I don't know, man. Need a Discord to be a host, though? Discord's neat, so I don't... You know, it's free. Yeah. We need to just be a Discord call where everyone talks at the same time and you can't hear anything. I could do that. That is something I could do. The stage thing. That was the thought. Kind of making it so that we have the stage thing. I don't know. We'll see. That way people could come in and I could drag them in so that you could talk if you wanted to. It's an idea. The MMO role system is highly accessible. It gives the player a clear understanding of their place in the party. Yes, exactly. D&D always had roles before 4E. Every game of D&D required the group to have a fighter, mage, thief, and cleric. And then if you had more players, then got more variety of classes. Yes, true. It's hard being the Joe Rogan of D&D YouTubers. God. I don't know how to take that. I don't know. We're a brand risk, right? Like, that's the thing. We're absolutely a brand risk in a lot of different ways. So, you know.
Extreme lean into heavy combat focus left many players who favored the role-playing aspects of Dungeons & Dragons behind.
So, okay, this is such a weird thing to say. I don't understand. The roleplay focus is still just as big as it is in 5th edition. The roleplay focus has never shrank, okay? It just hasn't. I don't understand what this argument is, ever. All of the same rules apply. You go up to people, you talk to them, you do stuff. What the fuck are we doing? What is this?
Yes, RP still existed, but the amount of time spent in combat by design really made it feel like an add-on between battles.
By design? Yeah, that's every fucking edition. What are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. Yes, every D&D edition is 99% combat focused. If you look at just the rules, absolutely. Cody argument all over again. Yup. The heavy combat desire still exists in 5e, which is funny. Yes, exactly. People just don't seem to understand that the roleplay aspect is so simple that it doesn't need a complex set of rules like combat does. You have to literally grid out where people are in combat so that you can make it so that you have accuracy and spell ranges and the components and everything that you have to get. Like, roleplay is literally, I go up to the guy and I start talking to him. Like, yeah, there's more to it than that, but that's it. It's that simple. I describe what I'm fucking doing, and that's in combat too. So I don't. It's just never a good argument, ever. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, I need more rules for roleplay. Oh yeah, you want to make it so that roleplay is more restrictive? Like it has to be done in certain ways? I'm not saying that combat is restrictive because of the amount of rules that it has, but I feel like if you add so many rules to how roleplay is, like how it's done, you're going to make things a little bit more restrictive, unfortunately. And people just aren't going to use those rules because you don't need rules for roleplay necessarily. The only time where rules have been super necessary is well, it's not even necessary for this. Don't get me wrong. 3E had diplomacy and it had the whole like slider kind of thing. So like you had your reputation with people basically that would go up and down via diplomacy checks and such. I remember this in the DMG, or one of the rule books for 3.5. There's a million of them, so you know. But it put in these ways to calculate and scale reputation with somebody, so that if you really needed to, I mean, it was part of the system, but if you really wanted to use it, it was there. The rules were there, but you can just say, "Well, no." And another argument against this combat-focused complaint is that 4E has support for non-combat with skill challenges and utility class powers. Yup. So by its system, 4E has the most support for non-combat situations. True. It's not true about rules for roleplay. Isn't that the point of Session 0? So that's not necessarily a built-in thing for the system. That is just a social verbal kind of thing. It's suggested a lot of the time, and it's useful, but it's not, one, it's not required, and two, it's not a part of the systems usually. It's just highly suggested a lot of the time so that you don't have a misunderstanding. So, no. I see you trying to get me with a gotcha of Session 0. I see you.
Combat was to be the main focus of 4th edition, whether you liked it or not. Originally designed to be around 5 rounds, but as the later books came out, they adjusted this to 10. 10 rounds of combat, that's a long time. Wizards inadvertently removed the magic of tabletop role-playing games in order to try and keep up with a market that they had essentially invented themselves.
They got rid of... Sorry, say that again. Say that fucking again. What are you fucking talking about?
Did this to 10 rounds of combat, that's a long time. Wizards inadvertently removed the magic of tabletop role-playing games in order to try and keep up with a market that they had essentially invented themselves.
That's an insane thing to say. Are you kidding me? What a claim. I'm sorry, 4E completely removed the magic of role-playing in 4E in D&D. What? I'm sorry, because they had fucking a lot of combat rules? Oh, okay. Why don't I go point at Pathfinder, and point at 3.5, and point at 3, and like point at 2, point at 1? What? 10 rounds of combat is a really long time. Is it really? It is kind of a lot, to be fair, depending on how, you know, like, it depends on how long people are taking per their turn, I suppose, because you're going for, if we want to go by averages, we got 4 people around the table and the DM, and however many monsters, technically, actually, would be the kind of thing. Each of them taking their turn, each of the rounds maybe taking a long time. Like, it is a lot, don't get me wrong, but, you can streamline it, right? You can streamline it. I don't understand what he said. He's saying that because the combat is such, like, a very prominent focus, that it took away the magic of role-playing, which could just be done at any point, so I have no fucking idea why he would say that. 1E, 2E multiclassing, when you do that, you start with a level in each of the classes you're using. You split the experience you gain between each one, and each non-human race had a specific set of multi-class combinations they could use. You would get all the special abilities like spells from each class, but the number increases didn't stack. That's all I remember about it right now. Hey, that's fine. Thank you. So then there was multi-classing, but to a different degree. I understand. 10 rounds. Oh, right. That had major. The fuck did you say to me? Energy. Well, it's just when I hear something like that, such a wild claim. It's insane. Are you fucking kidding me? It took away the magic of fucking role playing, dude. What are you talking about? Was D&D losing ground to Warhammer in the time frame? I remember Fantasy 5e had a pretty good starter set for about 60 to 70 USD. I don't know. Not true. In the mid-aughts, we had a lot of miniature tactical games like Mage Knight, D&D miniatures, Battletech, Dark Ages, Star Wars miniatures, and board games like Descent. I gotcha. I disagree with everything he said in that clip. Fair. Yes. I'm still trying to comprehend what he said because it doesn't make sense. I'll play it again, but like, for me at least. Oh, that went way too far back. That like what he is talking about is the fact that we have combat as such a focus for 4E has taken away the magic of the roleplay aspect of the game, because it is such a focus that it completely like makes it so that roleplay is like such a backseat. It's like, no. Not true. When 4E was designed, we were in a huge miniatures game focused hobby. Well, there you go.
And combat by design really made it feel like an add-on between battles. Combat was
yeah, that's in combination with this. That's what he's saying.
In the way that Wizards took it. The extreme lean into heavy combat focus left many players who favored the role-playing aspects of Dungeons & Dragons behind. Yes, RP still existed, but the amount of time spent in combat by design really made it feel like an add-on between battles. Combat was to be the main focus of 4th edition, whether you liked it or not. Originally designed to be around 5 rounds, but as the later books came out, they adjusted this to 10 rounds of combat. That's a long time. Wizards inadvertently removed the magic of tabletop role-playing games in order to try and keep up with a market that they had essentially invented themselves.
So, like, the whole thing is to really push the fact that because they have combat as more of a designed focus, I guess, that it takes away from the roleplay aspect. That's the entirety of that quote there, right? Now, I will give you this. I have not played 4th edition, okay? I have not played it myself, but from my experience with playing every single other edition, okay, the amount of combat that is put into your campaign, okay, is up to the dungeon master, right? Yes, adventures and stuff might be more or less because of how they are written, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't get to that combat after a entire fucking session of roleplay, specifically, okay? I don't see anything that has literally said, hey, just do combats more, okay? I don't understand. I don't get it. Yes, the design might be there. There might be a lot more that is to the combat part, but that is because the roleplay part doesn't need a lot, okay? It doesn't. It doesn't need a lot. The skill challenges and the utility spells and everything are still there, and they are add-ons to the non-combat stuff. No. You need to play 4E? Yep, play 4E. I want to play 4E. We will play 4E for a campaign in the future, potentially. But it's a very far future idea at this point. So, but we do want to play 4E. That is something we want to do. Absolutely. Don't worry. Just because the book says 10 does not mean you always have to play that many. Yep. Also true. You'd have to make the changes to the monsters in the first 2 monster manuals to make combat faster. Sure. We'd have to figure it out a little bit. But yeah. Like, I understand. There's probably a little bit of a slog there, but honestly, we'll probably go from like the very, bare bones basics just to see how it is, and then get to kind of tweaking it here and there, right? We'll figure it out. It'll be a whole thing. House rule and morale rules. Oh, of course. I mean, that's just, in general, we just have morale being a thing. Because not everybody wants to fight to the death, right? That's just silly. Humans only, dual classing, humans only. Humans can only start with one class. After gaining at least one level in that class, you can decide to dual class, where you stop gaining levels in the original class and start gaining levels in a new class. As I understand it, you could never gain another level in the original class again, and you would lose any special abilities from that class until the level of new class exceeded the old class, but you would keep all your numbers, and I think you still kept all the weapon armor proficiencies, so dual classing from a martial class to a caster class tended to work the best. Also, despite the name, you could dual class more than once. There you go. More a 2E thing? Okay. Basics, get ready for a month of combat against barmaids and barflies. Cool. Hell yeah. That's fine. You kidding me? We have to stay in a town forever for a little while? Oh, sounds like a terrible time. I don't care. That's fine.
D&D players wanted D&D, and this led to massive...
No, okay. Already. Immediately. No, they wanted the old thing. That's what you mean. They wanted what came before. Okay? They were afraid of the change. They didn't want the change, so they didn't take the change. Okay. It's not that they wanted D&D specifically. Okay? Because this is still D&D. It's just different a little bit. Okay? Yeah, me. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. The system is still the same. The powers thing doesn't completely change how D&D is to the degree of it being a completely different game. Okay? The balance to make it so that the game, like, you don't have everybody, you don't have every wizard going completely out of control, is not something that is essential to D&D. It is not. It's preferential for some people. We went over this. It is not essential.
Backlash. Even the cooler points of combat, like the bloodied condition, made metagaming even easier, allowing the players to understand the enemy was at least halfway down on its hit points.
Oh no! Oh no! You, as outside of the game, have knowledge that you are not bringing into the game, necessarily, for your character to know. Oh no! Get better at fucking compartmentalizing. That's all I can say. You kidding me? Stop. Football players want to foot. Yes. Rugby players want to rug. And soccer players want socks. It's how it is.
Massively alter the course of combat, especially in a game where you're meant to be playing the part of your very mortal character.
Yeah, so do that! Dude, if you're in a real fight or a video game, you can visually see if someone is getting hurt or not. It's not just a metagame thing. Like, you can RPCing the condition of the enemy. Exactly. I thought he was going to talk about not hating on 4E anymore. These are all the reasons that apparently that there were some bad things. He went over the good things. These are the bad things, apparently. These are not, like, metagaming is not a fault of the system. Okay? It might make it easier for people who metagame, but the people who take advantage of metagaming to that degree are the problem, not the system giving them the opportunity to. People are going to metagame no matter what. Like, no matter what the system is. Okay? They read the rules. He's stuck more on the bad than the good. I was hoping for more of the opposite. To be fair to him, I have been pausing more on the bad because the bad is that bad in the sense of he is making bad arguments that he's agreeing with. So
things look rough for your character, you're always better off surviving to fight another day, unless you basically have a hit point bar floating above the enemy's head. And like I said before, this massively combat-focused game almost required the use of maps and miniatures. Powers giving measurements of squares instead of distance were aimed at players purchasing more accessories in order to play their favorite game.
Okay, so I understand that if you don't ever look at squares and say, oh, that's 5 feet, that could be a problem. But guess what? And hell, tell me if this is incorrect, but in the actual books, does it not also say that a square is equal to 5 feet? Is that not like what is said? Right? Squares does make it easy to translate into metric markets. That is true. But I would imagine that it would also say, like, that it says that if you're thinking about feet, that this is 5 feet. Regardless, for all of the people in 3.5 and before that were told 5 feet is a square, they could still use that. Because guess what? Those were all combat focused too, if we're going to go by this definition of it. And all of them gave you, this is this many squares when you're thinking about feet. Right? If I go, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to fucking pull it up. I'm going to pull it up right now. I'm going to fucking pull it up right now. Give me any flip. There we go. Square is a standard unit of measurement in the Forgotten Realms. How tall was the ogre that attacked you, sir? Say about 2 squares tall? Yeah, exactly. Hold on. I gotta get to... okay, let me look at my table of contents here. Where is it? There it is. Let me... I can't see chat right now. I'm just looking. Oh, the battle grid. Oh, 3.5. 133. Okay. Hold on. Page 133. Ooh! But don't worry. D&D became combat focused in 5th. I'm sorry, in 4th. Don't worry. Okay. Oh, well, any flip is being annoying. But you can see, literally right here, there is the square grid, okay? 1 square is 5 feet. Exactly. I know. Everybody knows this. This is the thing. They seem to keep acting like it's some, like, weird thing that can't be comprehended that they were using so that people would buy miniatures and stuff. Which, to be fair, yes, they were using it for people to buy miniatures and stuff because people want, when they're working for a company, they want you to buy their things, okay? So, they're going to make it so that they want you to have to purchase these things. I get that. I understand. But I assume that everybody who saw this didn't immediately need to go, oh, I gotta go buy a grid. Like, people used graph paper to map out dungeons, to utilize these combat squares that were there always. 1 square is 5 feet. That's just how it is. This is literally called the battle grid, okay? You can't see it. It's so annoying. I just want to... Ugh. Any flip, you're fucking me up. No, don't auto flip, actually. Oh, but you still do. If you go and find the 3.5 PHB, page 133, Combat, Chapter 8, I'm sorry, 134, is where this is. This fucking square. Oh, look at this! Attacks of opportunity, put on a grid. Whoa, look at this! Line of sight, you can't see past a corner. It's on a grid. Withdrawing! Oh! Foot 5-foot step. Whoa, 5-foot steps need to come back. Diagonal movement. Fucking tactical movement. I'm sorry. How big is this section? Hold on. Give me just a second. Cat's got in. All right. Like, the section is. This is why I wish I had the PDF on my actual computer, but I don't. The section is, let's see, combat is that's 27 pages in total right there. Everything else that's about combat, that is the like the armor, the weapons, all that kind of stuff. Hang on. We're good. The weapons, the armor, the combat, like all that kind of stuff. You have the tables that are literally for all of that. You have the classes themselves, like sure, the actual classes and stuff, not necessarily just for combat, okay? But this is 30 pages. All right, hang on. Hold on. Now I gotta. We're comparing page counts now. 4E players handbook. I can't. It's just. We're also gonna look at 5th. Don't worry. Okay. 320 pages. Okay. Let's see how much bigger it is. Oh, you can't fucking see. Oh my god. Okay. Hang on. This is important, so fuck me. I'm just gonna make a new window for this, okay? You go to that one. There we go. So annoying. Alright. All this shit doesn't matter. All this shit doesn't matter. All this shit doesn't matter. Okay. Good enough. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. Because I can't fucking zoom in because it's being annoying. So, let's see. Combat. 264. Okay. Now, let me... I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. 29 pages. 27 to... They added 2 pages, dude. I'm sorry. No, it's 31. Excuse me. It's 31. So they added 4 pages for combat that is specifically that section. Okay? All right. Here we go. Let's continue because this is now the thing. 5e players handbook. Oh, I've already got this. That's 3.5. You fucking... There we go. Ah! Do I have to prove the point? No, I don't. At all. But, just for the people in the back, alright? The people who make videos like this, okay? Combat. Oh, they dropped it to 9 pages. 9 pages in 5e. Because they made it so much more simple. Okay? Yeah? Gotcha? Let's go even farther back. Let's go even farther back. Okay? 2e players handbook. 4e, they added 4 pages. Okay? Why is it like this? That's incredibly useful, dude. Thanks. Ah! What? Huh? Oh, thanks. Why did you... Okay, anyway. This is the revised one. Combat, 118. 2... Oh, I'm sorry. That's 144. Oh. That's 34 pages. And this isn't necessarily all the stuff that is about combat, either. Right? You've got other things in everything else. You've got your abilities and stuff. But that's second edition, okay? That's second edition. I'm sorry, I have to immediately fucking go super into the, because people just don't seem to understand. This is AD&D. They don't even have a section. But guess what? A lot of this, let's just be generous and say equipping the character. I'm sorry. You've also got hirelings and henchmen in there. So it's not as easy to kind of parse through entirely. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is a lot of combat stuff. Okay, wait. The adventure. Let's go from initiative. Okay, initiative 104. Okay, there's not a lot. Don't get me wrong. But there is a lot in other places. I don't know, man. There wasn't a lot that you needed to know, I guess, in AD&D. All right? It's pretty easy, pretty simple. You got all this shit here, right? Damage as well. Yeah. Okay. Experience is probably good at poison as well. Okay. Right? I don't know, man. That's a lot of the books still. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand what. Anyway. You get my point, though. There's a lot of published pages of combat material in these games. 1E is an exception, and 5E is an exception, because they are both... One is way more simple, and the other one has been streamlined after the fact. Okay? It's just, this is a horrible argument. It just is. Just because there's a lot more rules doesn't necessarily mean that the roleplay aspect is diminished. If that's the case, people would have hated 3.5 and 3. People would have hated it. And yeah, there are people who did, okay? But guess what? They just hated 4E. Because it was different, and it made things a little bit easier to understand, and put it into terms that people understood at the time. Okay? So, alright, rant over. My blood pressure is in the roof. It's not through it, because I'm not dead. So, here we go.
Theater of the mind was being phased out, and this was met with understandable resistance.
You can't tell me how to play my make-believe.
But if you weren't sold on physical maps, terrain, and miniatures, a promise was on the horizon of an electronic solution. A video game, you say? Well, almost. A virtual tabletop system with a bunch of digital tools to aid DMs and players alike. Wait.
People don't like this. The fact that this was a thing. People like 5.5's virtual tabletop. People don't like 5.5 as well. But nobody has an issue, like, with the design of the virtual tabletop. You know? I mean, they might. I don't know. Is it even out? I haven't heard anything about the virtual tabletop. 2024. Yeah, D&D. We have so many VTTs at this point, so, like, it's not like it matters, but I want to know about the official one. I can't find it. Is it Foundry? Foundry is its own thing, I thought. Yeah, it's its own thing, right? Yeah, it is. So why is that the first thing? Whatever. 5.5 doesn't have a virtual tabletop, but they were marketing that they would have one. It was in the promotions and everything. Sigil got canceled? What? This is news to me. This 90% of the team was let go? What? I didn't hear about this at all. Holy shit. What? The 4E VTT didn't get finished because the lead designer did a murder-suicide? No. I had never heard that before. It was canceled. It was months ago it got canceled? Yeah, I see that. It's now, like, it was on, March? Yeah, March. I had no idea. Why did no videos come out about this that I could see on the channel? Like, obviously the TableTalk channel, like, has a bunch of, like, D&D stuff, so I would think that somebody would have come out with it. 2009 was proto YouTube. That is true. Just the Coast can't do VTTs, apparently. There are, like, 37 out already that are already, like, a thing, so they already sell all their stuff on every single other one. I'm learning so much. This is great. My cats are yelling. That's amazing. Wow, okay. Different does not mean wrong. Exactly. That is true. Got dark. What the fuck? Yeah, no. Escalated very quickly. Exactly, yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, there you go.
Wait, what happened? They never arrived? Yeah. Sound familiar? For those who stayed current through the beginning of 2023, it should. But I think the final nail in the coffin came from the sheer amount of books released.
What do you mean, Jay? Wizards has always released tons of books.
Well, Wizards released the regular 3 core rule books, the Player's Handbook, the
Okay, wait. Okay, before he gets into this, is he gonna start talking about how they didn't have as many books or too many books? Because I don't care either way. Where are we going with this? What? That doesn't mean anything. Who cares how much or how little content there is? People didn't fucking play it. Why would they release things for a game that people literally weren't buying?
Dungeon Master's Guide and the Monster Manual. Great! Except that it didn't contain the full amount of base species and classes. We had to wait for the PHB, DMG, and Monster Manual too.
3.5 had a PHB, DMG, and Monster Manual 2. So I mean, did it not they did have the base, you know, everything. I'll give you that. But I don't know. Sure. You could just, I don't know, homebrew them in, I guess, at that point. Which, to be fair, not great to not have that. So that sucks. But okay. So here's the thing. The quote unquote core things, I guess, I would need to know exactly what they were that they didn't have, and how actually quote unquote core they were, right? Because this is the new core, I guess, right? No one complains about how Paizo is doing multiple player core books for Pathfinder 2 and Starfinder 2e. Yep, that's also true. Xanathar's Guide to Everything was the first time that we had crafting for magic items and crafting in general. Like, it was the first time that we had it for 5e. Like, in actual rules. So, nobody complained about that, though, except for us. As far as I know. I mean, people complained that it didn't have a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if people complained specifically about that. It has been a minute to be fair, there could have been complaints that we were like, yeah, that's also true when we were covering things. So it fucking 2012 was a long time ago. Not 2012. Yeah, 2012. No, 2014. 2014 was a long time ago, and I don't remember a lot of videos from them then. And 2019, when we started the podcast, was also a long time ago. So, you know.
And then the PHP, DMG, and Monster Manual 3.
Again, like, oh, 3.5 had the same thing. Why are people not complaining about 3.5? In the sense of having those books, you know? Yeah, 2014, 2012 wasn't that long ago, that's true.
Thankfully, by the third versions of the core books, most bugs had been worked out. Huzzah! But the bad side of this was the third versions known as 4E.
So this is the thing that has been admitted, at least in when we're talking about the monsters, at least, that the first and second books didn't really do them great. So there is something there, but that's not something he's talking about, at least yet. Maybe he'll talk about it in a bit. But that's something that you guys have talked about in the chat, so, you know, there is an issue there in terms of balancing the monsters, right? I can't speak of the content in the 4E core book, but I know that in the Pathfinder 2E core book 1, it gave you everything you needed to just play. Everything after was bonus. Yeah, so same thing could be said about the core in 4. You could still just play, and then everything after was just either pre-established stuff that hadn't come through yet, or I guess, like, and I don't know. I guess I personally don't care if the pre-established stuff was there or was not there in the beginning, because the core stuff that was there would be enough for me at that time. That is something that I can understand people getting, you know, really upset about, because, like, let's say that humans weren't a thing in the core rules when it first came out. That would be insane. That would be a crazy thing. But I personally would go, oh, okay, I'm not playing a human. Because I'm just not playing a human. It's not there. I mean, I could just play a human and give them different stats, I guess. Homebrew it if I really wanted to, but I don't know. No humans, bold, indeed. But, like, I guess that seems preferential to me, at least. But I could understand why that would enrage people, right?
The Essentials weren't released until 2010, a full 2 years after the original release. Why? After all this, do I think the Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition gets way more hate than it deserves?
The Essentials being put out later is very strange to me, but also it's just, I don't know, the core rulebook and all that kind of stuff is there, so I don't know how I feel about the whole, like, starter kits and the Essentials kits and all that kind of stuff, in the sense of, like, when they're released, I guess. You would want them to be earlier, I suppose, but I also don't, I personally don't buy those kits, so I have no real, like, opinion on them, so I don't know how good or how bad they are, I guess, and how worth they are, like, in terms of, like, content, right? For price and for time. Yes, all for a game, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you. In essence, 4E was a great game. Like, no joke. I think they were genuinely onto something. The problem was the target audience. No, I don't mean you were the problem before the comments are filled with more J-hate. I mean, the game was marketed to the wrong audience.
I don't think so. I think that, well, so the marketing is something that people do say that it did wrong. I think that if they had marketed it in such a way to say, this is the same thing that you know, it's just got a different coat of paint on it, it would have been fine. I don't know how they would have marketed it like that in a way that wasn't the way they did it, I guess. And if they had focused less on telling you that you needed to buy miniatures and terrain and all that, that might have helped, I guess. But I don't know what the marketing was during the time. I would love for people to go into depth about the marketing for 4E so that we could really get that as, like a factor that we can just pull up and kind of have in the sense of like a video form of it, because I don't think there's you know what, let's see. Oh, this is the wrong browser. That's not the right account. There we go. So if I go like 4th edition D&D marketing, has somebody made a video on this? Dungeon Master's Kit review. I don't see anything, at least in the top few, that's talking about the specifics of the marketing campaign. I guess that is something that I would like to know. I understand there's probably a way for me to research that, but in terms of like having it be accessible to the public to dispel or enforce a lot of the arguments, it would be good for somebody to make a 4E marketing video, right? That way people can point to that, because the general audience isn't necessarily going to go and search this stuff out, right? It would be good to see somebody who did, so that the general audience would then understand it better. I could potentially do it myself, but I have enough to do in my own life, unfortunately. It would be something that would take me a good long time, unfortunately, to do if I were to take it on, because I'm already still like way far behind on all my editing and way far behind on a bunch of other stuff for, you know, personal life stuff. So like, they marketed toward an audience that they thought preferred a more video gamey MMO feel, according to John Marketing, who's hip with the kids. That's true, exactly. The only bad marketing I would understand is if they lied about what was in the game. Yes, I also agree. I don't know. I have no idea how they marketed it. Nobody talks about it, like, to a degree that is dedicated to it. So, also, I'm seeing Old Greybeard. I'm seeing that channel, and I'm gonna subscribe to it with ours, because that seems interesting. Good for you. I'm only just now learning that Thunderscape was released as a campaign setting for Pathfinder 1E. I don't know what Thunderscape is. Anyway.
Main issue of focusing on turning D&D into an MMORPG or becoming as
The fucking same argument. It's becoming a video game. It's becoming an MMORPG. Shut up.
close to it as possible meant that they missed the magic that is Dungeons and Dragons.
They miss the magic, dude, because they focus too much on combat, because that takes away from the roleplay, obviously. Like, fuck off, man.
If D&D players wanted a video game, they'd play a video game, but that's separate from what they get from playing D&D with their friends around a table.
Please explain to me, then, the countless, I assume countless because I only know of a few, but the countless tactical RPGs that include a lot of roleplay aspect that are very combat focused that have succeeded. Yes, they haven't succeeded as much as D&D, but they wouldn't be described as losing the magic of their roleplay aspect because that's still there. It's just also very tactically heavy in, or sorry, it's very combat heavy in its design. So please just tell me why those things have failed, I guess, and been discarded by their fan base. If they, I guess, is it because they haven't failed because they were always that way, and so the fan base isn't going to, but D&D always has been this way, so why? It's the all furry campaign comment caused me to think of the setting because of the Farron race. Gotcha. I never saw TTRPGs as a video game ever. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know this lens. I don't get it. I don't understand it because it's so easy for me to immediately go, well, it's not as fucking restrictive as a video game. So It's another steampunk world, basically, but darker than Eberron. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. I like that.
All that to say, the Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition was an incredibly daring step out into the unknown, linking the good parts of video games with D&D, and could have been an amazing TTRPG. But even
So now it's the good parts of video games? So now they're using the good parts of video... Sorry, you're saying this at the end. It's using the good parts of video games. Are you talking about the conditions and stuff, and not the classes and all that kind of stuff? Because I would say that the classifications of classes is a good part, so that you can understand, basically, by looking at it, what it's about. So... PHP 1 had all these classes: Cleric, Fighter, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Warlock, Warlord, and Wizard. They pushed all the primal classes like Druid and Barbarian to PHP 2, along with the Bard. That's unfortunate. Monks were in PHP 3. Monks are fine. Whatever. They can be in a later thing. That's fine to me. But the Druid is a weird choice. That's fair. The Bard as well. Barbarian I can see, but Warlord's a thing, so... right? TTRPGs not being a video game got me to play video games less as a result. They could be farther apart from what they are, except being games. They couldn't be. Or they could be. Yeah, I know. The TTRPGs are video games thing hurts my furry brain. Fair. Absolutely fair.
though it had the D&D intellectual property, it just wasn't Dungeons and Dragons.
Dude,
but if you really want to understand...
That's it, dude. It just wasn't D&D. It just wasn't, dude. It just wasn't. Yeah, absolutely. Go. Dude.
how massive the shift was into 4th edition, I think you should click on this video here where we dive into the development of D&D 3rd edition and 3.5.
Peak D&D is 3.5. Which I like 3.5 a lot. I don't know if I would call it peak D&D. I don't know. That's just it, man. It just wasn't D&D. That's what 4E was. It just wasn't D&D. I don't know what it was. But apparently it wasn't D&D. It's so D&D it hurts. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, God. That's I don't get it. I don't get it. Look past the labels, and it's D&D. Like, that's all that you have to do. That's it, man. It's so simple. It doesn't make any sense. Like, powers as a label, like, it poisoned it for some reason. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. I think I missed the positive in that video. Where was the good parts again? So he was saying the conditions and the utilizing the monsters in such a way were though that was where the good parts were. And that it was very tactically focused. It was very combat focused, so that was also a good part. That was it, and they were very short. At least it felt very short. Again, I could have paused them a lot less, so that might have been it. So, I thought we were supposed to stop bashing it. Why were we supposed to stop bashing it? Yep. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't D&D, so apparently we have to stop bashing it. Because it got too much hate, because it wasn't D&D. What, like, you understand that you have not done what your video has suggested. You have just given them more reasons to say, oh, this is bad, by literally using the same talking points. Literally using the same talking points that everybody does who bashes it, and then just saying, but no, it's fine. I talked about the good things. Usually, now, let's talk about construction of something that is supposed to be perceived as positive. Usually, you lead with the bad stuff to then go into the good stuff, right? That's kind of how you sway people to see that something is better. Is it misleading in that case? Potentially, I don't know. It depends on how you're presenting the argument, right? If there's a lot more good than there is bad, then, you know, obviously you're showing that, right? If we're being, like, completely objective about it, absolutely. That's kind of how you want to do it. You can pepper them in if you want. You can do dichotomies here and there of, like, this is a bad part, this is a good part, right? Like, there are ways to do it where you can see that somebody is trying to make it look good. But he put all the bad shit there, and then at the end said, but actually it's fine, though. Why would I defend it? Oh, let me tell you for about, I don't know, like 30 seconds. How long was that?
Step out into the unknown, linking the good parts of it, miss the magic that is Dungeons and Dragons. If D&D
Like, still using the lines of this is not D&D and missed the magic that is part of the game. Those are not lines that you use in the ending bit to say, oh, it just didn't get a lot of hate. Or it didn't get, it didn't get fair hate. It's hated too much. Those are major claims. It's a horrible video to try to say, no, 4E's fine. Anyway, those are the videos for today, everybody. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you for joining me for this 4E the 4E talks that we do every now and then, because we are the proponent of saying 4E is fine, you will like it. It is fine. Okay? Because nobody does. And when you do, apparently you get videos like this. I'm sure there's, you know, we were talking about Old Graybeard before as well. Old Graybeard probably does great, you know? Anyway. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you're at this point, okay? I'm not your dad, but I can at least suggest it. Anyway. Okay. So, comments and such. We only have one comment, right? And that's Timothy saying, hey, bros. Still working on lore. See you guys next week. Have a nice day. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's comments. Easy. Done. Woo. Hard. Stay tuned to his Pathfinder 2e video and why it fails. Yeah, exactly, right? Subscribe to the channel, like the videos when they come out, like the streams and stuff, like the everything. Go and watch more videos and such. I'm gonna talk about some shilling and shit, you know, like all the other stuff that you can do to support us if you want to, but you don't have to stick around for this part. That's completely fine. Up to you. All right. So, hey, we have a website. Hey, if you go over to our website, you can see all the stuff, everything. This is gonna this needs to be updated. Apparently I didn't put the last video, but you can see all the stuff. You can see the live sub counter. Apparently this is not working. Firefox can't open this. That's stupid. It usually can, but sure. You can see all that. You can see all the other stuff up here. And if you go to support us further, you'll see all the stuff that I'm going to talk about, as well as have talked about so far. That is, of course, you can support us via Patreon or Ko-fi. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/tabletalkcrew. It's in the description. Or ko-fi.com/tabletalkcrew. Also in the description. To become a table flipper, if you want to, for as little as $1 a month, you can have access to early stuff when it does come out. You can have access to streams, editing streams. You can be a table flipper in our Discord server, all of that kind of stuff, or you can just throw us a buck and support us financially to help us with any costs that might be associated with the show. Up to you. Thank you. A big thank you goes out to Draco Kraken, Rick, aka Unirico, and Steely for being in tier 4. Big high tier. Appreciate you immensely. Thank you so much. We hope you continue to enjoy. A thank you goes to Crimson Rose as well at tier 2. Thank you. And a thank you goes to our tier 1 contributor. Little as $1 a month. That is what you can do. if you want to. It's not an obligation. Only join the Patreon or the Ko-fi if you want to / are able to. We also have a fourth wall shop. You can go over here, get the coasters of our little faces on them, get a little crew mug there, get the mouse pad, and the dice, our custom dice. They're there. You can buy them. Go for it. I'll send you these personally. They're great. They're really good dice. I use them all the time. Get whatever you want. Up to you, of course, and don't buy unless you're able to. That's it's in the description. It's also on the website, so go check it out. We also have the ability for you to donate to us via PayPal if you want. That is a thing. As well as we're partnered with Humble Bundle, the affiliate link that we have. Oh, what's this? Oh, SD GQ. Neat. The affiliate link down below, if you buy things through it, you will give us a little bit of a kickback. Whether it be any of these lovely things like the Roll Big or Go Home, which is almost gone. I missed it. I'm very upset I could not get it this time around. Ugh. Anyway, any of these other bundles, if you want to, of course, up to you. Anything through the shop, all of that. Let's see if there's any other book bundles that are relevant to us. Oh, Star Trek comic mega bundle. That's neat. Doesn't look like we have much in terms of TTRPG stuff aside from the Roll Big or Go Home, and that makes sense. That's fine. By the time that this video comes out, that will be gone, so sorry if you missed out. But yeah, go over and check out the shop. Look for good old stuff. Up to you. Of course, link in the description. I think it still works. I don't know. I'm using the mousepad right now to ensure compatibility with the show. Hell yeah. Thank you for buying the mousepad. Appreciate that. You should also use the coasters to make sure that your drinks are properly supported by our faces. We also are partnered with drive-thru sites. Drive-thru RPG, fiction, comics, cards. All that stuff that you can get through drive-thru is here. A mention of something on drive-thru was mentioned before for 4E, and I don't remember what it was. I'd have to look through the chat again. But you can probably get, you know what? 4th edition. Oh, hold on. The Dungeons and Dragons 4th? How do I find it? Okay. Well, there we go. There's probably a way to find it through this. Let's go with let's just put 4E in and see if that works. That's not helpful. That's 2E. Okay, this didn't work as well as I was hoping it would. If you can buy 4E stuff through here, hey, there we go. There's some Gamma World Gamma Knights. There you go. That's a 4E. Oh, look at this. That's the supplement to 4E. Yeah. All animals are equal for Gamma World. There you go. There's some 4E stuff in here, so you might be able to find some stuff. I don't know if you can find official stuff. It seems like they've only got 3, 2, and 1. Probably 5 is also on here somewhere. Actually, no, 5 wouldn't be. They wouldn't let you have that. Oh, the Monster Manual 5 for 3.5. Yo. Anyway, there's some stuff. Maybe you can get it. Get that Dark Sun stuff? Yeah, you can get Dark Sun as well. I think 4E also had Dark Sun. That's the thing. So, you might be able to. Anyway, utilizing the link in our description, you can go and buy stuff through DriveThruRPG, because that's the one that's so close to what we do. And we get a little bit of a kickback if you buy something within 15 days of using the link. So, cards, comics, fiction as well, to go and check out to see if there's anything that you would like to buy. But anyway, that's all the stuff there. So thank you so very, 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 very much for joining us for this episode. I hope that you had a good time, because I certainly did, and got very upset. Because people bashing 4E always seems to upset me, because they don't seem to understand 4E. But hey, to be fair, you could say that I don't understand 4E either. We'll see you next week for more of the show. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See ya.